Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is officially episode 264, back on the no doubt about it episode numbering groove. Fast and Furious, last 12. God damn it. I was so proud that I wasn't going to mess it up because, Montez, we did a bonus episode. We did Christine. Oh, yeah. So, in one place it's one number and one place it's another number. I'm like, I don't know what to call this. And now here I am so excited. The one thing's no longer an issue. And I turned something that should be a slam dunk into an issue. Fast and Furious Lap 12. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe 2, and this episode's brought to you by Jasper Engines and Transmissions. And their remanufactured diesel engines have new parts, but same model. Jasper provides you with more than just a remanufactured diesel engine. They provide confidence. Shout out to Jasper.
Well, shout out to Jasper, shout out to the new model, original parts, and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever with us tonight. I got to give her props on the show because shout out to... What? We're going to lead into it. Cassie Wilson, Ben Milliman, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Haley Gerbies, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Renato DiDonato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, and our very own Leo and Santos, Mike Gallier, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. The cousins coming in strong here.
Yes.
Patreon supporters.
Yes.
I also just realized, Montez, we did not make you watch Los Bandoleros. You're going to do that before the next episode. Did you know that there is a 30-minute Vin Diesel directed short film?
It's not 30.
20 minute.
I've watched it.
You have? Oh. Okay, good. That's all that matters. But welcome, Montez. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I just want to say family.
Yes.
And especially thank you for, enlisting your family in giving us the monthly donation. That was very kind of you and him.
Yes.
Mostly you, I think, but also him. But, a little bit of here, a little bit of there.
You're most welcome. Anything I can do to help out the family.
It's appreciated.
The thing you can do to help out the family, we have a couple either-or questions. Before we talk about the movie, we got some either-or questions. Before we talk about Fast and Furious number 4, before we get into any of that... actually, there's only one. There's only one question, Montez. A very easy one. Are you ready for this?
Yep. Ready.
And I think I know the answer. Are you more fast or furious?
I'm going to say today I'm a little furious.
I would say you're normally a little furious. Work days.
Yeah, I think that's
Work
accurate.
days, you're normally a little furious.
I think that's accurate.
That's fair. Okay. That makes sense.
When would you define yourself as fast? What points in your life would you say you are fast?
Chasing a toddler.
Yeah. I've never run faster than when my kid's like, "Hey, Mom, watch this."
On top of a countertop or something. Hey, watch this. Holding a knife.
Yep,
watch
pretty much.
This.
Hey, Mom, what's this? And it's a screwdriver, and he's about to run down the wall with it. Yeah, that happens.
Makes
very,
sense.
very, very exciting. Well, you are furious tonight. Hopefully, we make you fast and furious and family. What? So you had seen this movie before? Is that correct?
I had, yeah.
When was the first? Is this another one you've seen in theaters? Do you watch this with your cousin? Where was the first time you see this? Do you remember when you saw this first?
I don't remember when I saw this first. Probably shout out Netflix DVD.
Cool. Yep. Still a customer, right?
Yeah, you know it. Always
That's
and forever.
amazing that they still do this. I'm very, and you have children, so that's the most dangerous way to play media is with rental DVDs.
Oh, but they don't care. It's just it's scratched. It doesn't work. They're like, all right, send it back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
They really don't care.
They're like, thank you for remembering that we exist.
Yeah, we appreciate your business.
Yeah.
Here's another DVD. So I probably rented it. I'm sure that I could look it up on Netflix and it would tell me exactly when I rented it the first time. But I did not see it in the theater. I do not remember who I watched it with originally, but I know that I have watched it a few times in the past few years with Michael. So he is the reason why I've seen this multiple times in the past few years.
Cool. Well, speaking of seeing things multiple times, before we talk about this movie, we have a new segment. We don't have an official title for it yet. I think we're kicking around. Joe had some ideas, maybe the Montez Minute. But Montez, this was an idea from your cousin. I want you, without notes, to fill us in. Where are we in the Fast and Furious? Recap the first two movies for us, please.
Oh fuck! I
No,
knew
just
this.
off the top of your head, no planning. It's okay. It's
I
just
knew
like
this
it's
was
like what
coming
do you
too.
remember?
I will
All
say
right.
that no planning, but you're going to have to do this every episode from here on out. So
All right.
no notes. I'm going to
Just
trust
like quick,
you.
just overview, general,
Yeah.
Okay,
like big
okay.
big concept stuff. What do you tell us? What you think the story's about?
What
so
do you
far.
remember from the first two movies? What if somebody's like, "Oh, I've never seen the first two. I want to watch this one with you tonight." You're like, "Okay, here's what you need to know."
No, we're sitting down. Yeah, we're sitting down. We're about to click play, and you're like, fill me in up till now with like, give me like the Tilder version of it. Go.
Okay, so we meet Brian. I keep calling him Brian Spilner. We meet Brian, and he is a low-level, horrible, terrible cop. I don't know how he passed his cop exam.
Okay.
Whatever that's called. But he is trying to infiltrate some guys who are running hot DVD players.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he runs into Dom, who he ultimately secretly falls in love with.
Okay.
And it's a bromance for the ages. And from there, he also falls in love with Dom's little sister, or it could just be a front so that she's the buffer there between the two of them, and maybe she's the only reason he can stay around Dom.
So the movie's a rom-com.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's more of a romance drama. I mean, there are some funny points, but it's not very funny. It's more serious, kind of
Brooding.
Yeah. So throughout it all, Brian and Dom, they become close. Some background people die.
Not fair to them, but that's okay. Okay.
Not fair to them. We find out that Vince doesn't know how to read.
Okay.
And at the end, Brian ends up letting Dom go because he loves him so much. He just can't see him going to jail. So that's the first movie.
Okay.
In the second movie, somehow Brian is still a cop. Really don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're just understaffed and they need to keep him on payroll.
Okay.
They gotta have bodies, So then he meets up with his friend, Roman, who is always hungry because he was previously in jail. Apparently they didn't feed him in jail, so he is constantly hungry and he wants something to eat. They meet up with this really just bland bad guy who doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
There's also this female cop who is sleeping with this said bland bad guy and also starts sleeping with Brian. And for some reason, because the bad guy is so bland, he doesn't actually murder her, because that's what real bad guys would do. If they found out their woman was cheating on them, they'd, blow her head off, cut her head off, something, Henry VIII style.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, they bring down the bad guy. They get some money because their pockets ain't empty, cuz they're still hungry. So they go and get something to eat, and then we move into the third movie.
I wish we made Heather Antos do this because she would get
That
so
would've been
mad
great, yeah.
so fast. Montez, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
It was perfect. That was exactly what we needed. Okay. Should you do full recap every time, or should it be like just recap of the last one?
So I think
I think
it
recap
was,
of the last one's better.
I think it was on Real Bad, the show that ran for 100 episodes on our network about like basically how does it get made similar, where it was watching bad movies and doing like critical analysis of it. And I think by the end they did like a 60-second plot recap. So maybe we have to clock it. Be like, all right, Montez, you got 60 seconds per movie, because I think you did about 3 minutes maybe total for the two, which is not bad. That's
That's quick. That was good. It was concise, yeah.
But I think having maybe a minute per movie, or maybe a minute to do all 3 movies, this could be. We could get things. We
Minute
can
for
make it
all
really.
will be rowdy.
Because
that's a little too much.
I want by the end you have to recap 9 movies in a minute. All right, so it's family. Family. Yes, that's it.
Fair. Okay.
Family, Brazil, Snapple, Corona, the end.
Pretty much. I think you summed up the whole franchise with that right there.
So Montez, the question on everyone's mind: did you take notes on this movie in your same 4-quadrant fashion?
Oh God, yeah.
I added a quadrant.
Ooh, what's the
It's
fifth?
five
What's the
quadrants.
fifth quadrant?
Did it make
It's-
like a star?
It's 5 now.
Is it a quintrint? Because quadrant implies 4. So
You're
what's a
right.
5?
You're right.
Pentrint?
It's really just a
Pentrant
list.
sounds good.
It's a
It's
list.
really just like
okay.
a block, like a blocked out list. It's like a block.
Okay.
The last one is who gets the fuck.
Do you remember? So
Oh.
you caught who got the fuck?
I did.
Joe, do you remember? Because we talked about this. I forgot it. We mentioned it last lap because I remembered it last lap. Do you remember who gets the fuck?
No, I don't. I really don't.
If I say
I
the
was focused on
line-
something else, and I saw something in the movie this time that I was watching it, and I couldn't unsee it, and then like my brain just like went there, spiraled through the whole movie. But go
If
ahead.
I say the line is "Get in the fucking car, let's go," does that help?
Not really.
Montez, hit him with it. Who gets the fuck?
Brian.
Yeah.
Get in the fucking car. Let's go. When does he say it?
After the explosion,
Okay.
he's saying to
Okay.
Dom, let's go. And Dom's not moving, says, get in the fucking car, let's go. And then, they escape Dom's scene of vengeance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad that that's in your brain now, Montez. I mean, that doesn't apply just to these movies. It applies to any PG-13 movie.
Yeah, sure does.
It could be like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where it's just like you point at the TV, like, there it is. He said it. He said the thing.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
So.
I actually went and saw Black Adam twice.
Oh, that's
Twice already?
more than we
Jesus.
have collectively seen it, I
Yeah,
think.
I've seen it twice, and the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, Ari, who's gonna get the fuck?
Does somebody get the fuck?
Nobody gets the fuck.
That's the superhero way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm gonna watch that when it's on HBO Max in December, probably, but we'll get there when we get there. But Montez, what did you think of Fast and Furious number 4, 2009? The hard reset, not hard reset, but like the reboot, the requel, new model, original parts. We skipped Tokyo Drift. We'll get back to that eventually.
Same model. It's a refurbished engine.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Please hit us.
But like I texted you, you wouldn't believe my notes if I showed them to you. There's nothing in the hate block.
You love this
Really?
movie.
That's a wild take. Go ahead. Okay.
I couldn't believe it.
Is this your favorite of the 3 so far?
I think this is the favorite of my 3 so far.
So it goes 4, 1, 2.
Yep.
Okay. Fascinating. What'd
Yep.
you love about it?
The whole thing.
Wow, Montez,
okay.
we converted you already.
Tone, characters,
All of it.
storyline, everything. Wow. Okay. Cool.
I had no problems. The only all right. These are my questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please. Yeah.
This is fascinating.
I know. I'm shocked because I mean, I know you listened, but the history is that this is like arguably one of the worst ones.
This is one I will say that this is one I like more each time. Like this is the one that has progressed the most for me. But I think consensus-wise, this is usually in the bottom third, if not because people don't like it. It's just that the other people like the other ones more. So
Yes,
it's
hard to put
fascinating that
above
you love
other
this one.
things.
If
Yeah,
you love
go
this
ahead.
one, I'm feeling very good for the rest of the run.
Same.
Yeah, I feel like we're trending upwards here.
Nice.
So my questions are: what happened to the cafe? What's happening in the cafe?
You still want to know. You still want to know.
I still want to know. Like, the people still want to know.
Toretto's Market and Cafe is. I don't know. Maybe it's just boarded. Maybe it's just locked. You have like the chain on the door, like a really bad sign.
I
You know
will
what
say
I mean?
because I did listen to hundreds of episodes. I don't know if it was hundreds. I listened to a lot of episodes.
More than 100.
I did while I was watching. I was like, guys, it's the necklace. And then now everybody's going to, when we keep watching them, they're going to try and track the necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
My other question is, where does Dom get his Witcher powers of being able to show up to the scene and just recreate the scene?
Oh, so
in
you
his
call
mind?
that Witcher powers? We've been calling it, Sherlock Holmes or
Boondock Saints.
Yeah,
It has a big
yeah,
Boondock
yeah.
Saints feel to me.
I don't know, but he does that in Triple X too, where he's also like not Triple X 2, but Triple X as well, where it's like he is able to go to a place. And
But he doesn't have like
deduce
the
exactly...
memory. You don't see inside his vision.
No, but he has.
But he has
he's
the abilities.
He's a detective. He is a detective.
So this is Vin Diesel's personal superpower that he is just putting into the movies.
Yes, but we only see it here.
Yeah.
It never comes back. It only exists in this scene.
I cannot keep up with all of these fucking just one-offs that like we keep introducing and then we're not closing the loop here. Like if he's never going to have these superpowers again, then what was the point?
Well, he has different ones. You just don't see into his brain while he deconstructs a former crime scene that plays out live into his head.
And I mean, he's a better detective than Brian will ever be.
Well, so here's a point. Here's a counterpoint. Like, for a while, Montez, we were asking guests, you might remember, is Brian a good cop or bad cop? And then we're like, ACAB, all cops are bad cops. Let's not talk about this anymore. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's not what the B stands for, but, just cleaning it up for the kids.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So in this movie, the DOJ's been tracking Braga for 2 years. They've sent 3 feds after him. They've all returned in a body bag. Brian is successful. I'm wondering if he is a good cop after all, or if he's just good by comparison, which again, is a thing that we've talked about before. And I'm also wondering, to that point, if one of those 3 people they've sent after Braga, if they're counting Letty, or if Letty's just another death on the tally. Because, as far as we know, Letty is dead. Letty was, undercover trying to bring down Braga to help Dom.
Yeah.
I got lots of things about this, but I think Brian is a good cop by comparison, only because everyone else is terrible, but he's also a terrible cop.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree. Everyone's just mediocre. They're all just doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, kind of feels like that.
Do you think Montez, Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel, Mark Sinclair, likes the Dominican Republic as much as he does because the word Dominic is in the title? Is in the name of the country?
I feel like he feels obligated to. I don't know that he loves it as much as we would think he would because it's in the name. I think he just feels obligated to love it that much.
Because I don't think we canonically know where he's from, right, Joe? We don't know even if he's supposed to be Latino. We don't know if he's Italian. We don't know what he is.
We talked about this with Brian a lot. I think that he likes to be racially ambiguous.
All things to all people.
Yeah, and I think that's it always reminds me of, what was it, Parks and Rec, when she always refers to the one lady. She's like, "Oh, you racially ambiguous cutie," or whatever. You know what I mean? What's her name? Rashida
Jones.
Rashida Jones. Yeah, she always refers to Rashida Jones as she doesn't know what she is. I think that Dom pictures himself as Rashida Jones. Mark Sinclair pictures himself.
A wild comparison, and I'm here for it. As the kids say, I'm here.
Do you know what I'm? No, but
yes,
you get what I'm saying. He doesn't imagine himself as Rashida. He just imagines himself as I'm a citizen of the world. That's how Dom is envisioning himself. He's I am part of the family, the global family.
Because I've looked up his family lineage on Wiki multiple times, and it's just
everything.
He either doesn't know or he won't say, and it's just his dad's German or whatever. It's everything. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a lot of mystery, and that's fine. So he's just yeah, man, I'm just kind of amorphous here. Anything goes.
Montez, what do you think of the Dom versus Brian storyline? Because this time I was it's weird that Brian's not there's no reason for Brian to be in the opening scene, but I'm watching this opening scene Brian should be here, but obviously he shouldn't. But we once again have Brian and Dom on opposite sides of the law. What do you think of that in comparison to the first movie?
I mean, I found it interesting the way that. So if you watch the way that we are watching, so this one after the second movie,
yes,
and Brian's interaction with Roman in that movie versus Brian's interaction with Dom in this movie, Brian's lucky that Dom didn't kill him.
Yeah,
just gonna throw that out there.
At any number of points in this movie.
Yeah, right. So, Brian should just be counting his lucky stars that he has a job, that he can eat whenever he wants to, and that he's not getting murdered. Yeah. Because he is crossing a lot of people, and his main ability here is just the fact that he can fucking stay alive.
He's gainfully employed?
Yeah. The man's stepping on landmines every 5 minutes here.
Peligros minas.
Wait, and we talked about this with a lot of people, but not only is he still gainfully employed and stuff, he's failing up.
So my question is, Is this the FBI? I think this is just the DOJ because they have a thing on the wall. It's the DOJ.
Oh,
It's not
just
the FBI.
the DOJ.
But
in
I'm saying
quotes.
we've historically referred to him as an FBI agent. I don't think he is. I think he's just. But he is a federal agent. He has failed upwards. I just want to clarify for the record.
Yeah, he starts out as like a low-level cop,
Yep.
gets immediately promoted to undercover, pretty much. Then lets a criminal go. They recruit him in a different state to also go undercover with the FBI.
Yep.
And then we wind up here, and he's in the DOJ. Like,
Yep.
and he also he stole money and like didn't really catch the criminal in the other one. He just drove his car onto his boat. Like, it's not like he got caught him.
He
Listen.
is a handsome white man. That's what happens.
I really wish that I was a handsome white man because
Same.
I
really do.
I'd love to get a promotion just by doing jack shit.
Very, very true. I think about this for myself all the time.
It's bullshit.
If you were like a really handsome white woman, you could be a pharmaceutical sales rep and you could do this exact same thing. That was a unprompted shot at pharmaceutical sales reps.
No. They're hired for their looks, and
That's
only
what I
that.
mean.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
There's
you're
no
not.
offense to that, but if you were a very beautiful woman, you could do the exact same thing.
A friend of mine used to be a pharmaceutical sales rep, and
Was she gorgeous?
she's a blonde.
Yep. There you
Yep.
go. Nailed it.
One of the guys in my fantasy baseball league used to do that, and he is also he is the closest thing we have to a beautiful blonde woman. He's just a very he's a very good looking dude. It's just yeah, I get it. Now he is on the other side, not on the other side of that, but he's still in that field, but not selling because he's it was terrible. It's soul crushing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah. Montez, what else in your notes? What else do you love other than all of it?
That's literally all I have.
Oh, okay. What other notes did you take? You have other questions? There's nothing in hate. We answered the questions. You did the love.
I have a thought. Can I interject a thought while we think about this? We might have gone over this before, Joey, and if we did, I'm very sorry. We're deep into this experiment.
We almost certainly have, but yes, please
We
go
almost
for it.
certainly have. The apartment building that Dom goes into to find David Park, that absolutely cannot be the exact same building that Dom parks the car and walks out of in the first movie, right? Because they look almost identical.
You think he parked? You mean when Brian picks
parking
him up after the
garage.
race?
Yeah, like the parking garage when Dom drives up the side, okay?
That would be so funny if he parks the car in the first movie. Brian picks him up. The whole first movie plays out. He's like, I left a car somewhere, and then he comes back 5 years later and just leaves from that car. That would be great.
No, not that. Not like because he has the Mazda again later in the movie, like in the first movie.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I think that building, like the way it's shot and like the corner of it, and it's also because I remember from the minute, and it just clicked in my brain when I was watching it this time, that I remember from the minute that it was kind of like a 5 and 10 kind of store, you know what I mean? Like a mixed discount kind of bullshit store. It looked like a not a chain Dollar General type situation. And this also is called discount whatever, and it's 5 years, 7, 8 years in real time later. It looks like it could actually be the same building. And David Park lives above, in the apartment building that essentially Dom parks the car into in the first one, with the red jacket, brown jacket type situation.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I love that. I think we will get to that when we get to that in roughly 9 years.
Yeah,
We have
I
way
think so
slowed down
too.
the minute. I just did the math in my head. I think it's about 9 years out. So just keep that in mind. Or if you want to take the ambition the next time we do this in, 6 months or whatever, see if you can find that Google Maps. Because you probably have the Google Maps from the first one, I would imagine.
I do.
Right?
I
Yeah.
think so. I
So-
do think so.
Montez, what would you say is the most Dom moment in this movie?
When he decides to take matters into his own hands and find out what happened to Letty.
Okay. Yeah. Specific, all of it, because I have dangling David Park out the window, not holding anything back, doing the engine block in the garage, all of that, just the initiative he takes to avenge his fallen lover.
Yep.
I think I got one.
Yeah, what's yours?
I think my most Dom moment is when he describes his perfect woman
I have
to
that
Gal
down too.
Gadot,
Yep.
and she says, that's not me, and he's like, I know it isn't. That seems like a very Dom moment. He's so still into Letty that he describes her to another beautiful woman and then was like, nope, it's definitely not you. I'm talking about the one that I like.
I love when she's like, when I asked for your phone number, I wished you called. It was just I hoped it was under different circumstances. Because now, like, he's, killed most of his guys, right? So just like, oh,
Yeah.
Montez, I said it on here. You might have heard it back, ages ago when you were catching up. But I had that quote on a dating profile under, like, my ideal woman. And one person, like, this really, really attractive girl, like, responded to it. I was just like, oh my God, this is it. I found my Mia. And she's like, I hate New Jersey. I can't wait to leave. And I had, like, closed on my house, like, 2 months before.
Yes,
like, I am here for the long haul, so I guess this isn't going to work. But if you want to hang out, and then she just, we didn't. But it worked for one person ever, so, I'm just looking for my Mia.
There's got to be another one out there somewhere.
Yeah, maybe Gal Gadot. I don't know. I was trying to find things about Gal Gadot in this movie, and like I didn't find, like, for the Twitter game later, and like people are not really tweeting about Gal Gadot, and I think she's no longer in people's consciousness for these movies anymore. I think she's like Wonder
Just
Woman.
Wonder
she's
Woman
this,
only?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks. Okay.
It's weird. Or, people like, she posts a picture of herself smiling. And I saw one guy was just like, I remember when I first saw that smile in Fast and Furious. I was just like, oh boy, this is creepy. But, that's dudes on the internet. So, Joe, yours is the 20% angel, 80% devil speech?
I think so. No, but I mean, not even the speech. It's the context of him saying
Sure.
it to Gal and then being like, not you. That's the most Dom moment for me.
I think so. I have one. I'm going to get to my actual one. The one non-Dom thing that I have as the most Dom moment is Brian smashing Stasiak's face into the wall, a la Kenny Linder, when
Ooh,
Dom known for flying off the handle.
That's
just
excellent.
like using
Excellent,
violence
excellent.
when he shouldn't.
Yep.
I also think an honorable mention is waiting until exactly the right time to go under the oil tanker in the opening scene, and also sort of a preamble to Montez's, but like pushing Letty away to quote unquote protect her, like being like, I know better. I think this is the right thing to do. And she's like, no, like I'm here for you. Remember, ride or die. And he's like, no, you need to. And then she goes and dies, right? So,
Yeah.
But I think the most Dom moment, I think the most, the quiet rage, the confidence, the power, the ability is when he gets shot in the shoulder after the car explodes, and then turns around and slowly walks over to the guy and beats the ever-loving piss out of him. It's just like, you can't, I'm a superhero. You can't take me down. And I just, I love that for him.
I get that, yeah.
Also, calling Brian
sense.
a buster twice is pretty Dom, too.
Yes, yeah.
I found a connection here between it's kind of actors, it's kind of characters. I don't think there's an actual connection. I was hoping there would be. There's too many pieces for it to not be connected, but I don't think it actually is. Are you guys ready for my revelation from this movie?
Please, I shared mine, share yours.
So I know it's a common last name, but one of the other racers, when they're in that, like, they might be like in a tractor trailer or something, like the four of them are in their cars, like being toted around by Braga, like leading up to the heist, like before the car explosions, they're like in the back and they're talking to the other two racers there.
Yeah, okay.
One of those guys, I'm like, that guy kind of looks like Tego. And I looked him up, and he also has a last name Calderon, because Tego's last name is Calderon. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. But I'm like, that's kind of a common last name. Like, there's been basketball players, there's baseball players. Calderon, not an uncommon last name. But they were both of those actors were born in the same city in Puerto Rico within 3 years. And they both moved to Florida as young children to, like, live a better life. They're within 3 years of each other. So, like, it's this really, really weird two actors who both wound up in this movie with the same last name from the same hometown, made the same journey, both got into entertainment, but they're not related.
Weird. That's very, very weird. And so, like, in real life, they have a connection, and then in the movies, they have the same last name, which is like...
Well, no, the actor's last name. I don't know what the other actor...
Okay. So these fuckers might be cousins, dude.
So I looked, because Tego was the bigger name, right? Because he's a musician of note in Puerto Rico, whatever. And so I looked on the other guy's wiki. I'm just like, Tego? And like, he's not there. So like, you would think it's like, oh, his cousin is Tego Calderon, blah, blah, blah. But like, I didn't see him there. But I was just like, This is so weird that there's so many similarities. But again, maybe there's like 1,000 guys that were born in the 70s with last name Calderon who moved to Florida, and like 100 of them are actors. But it's still the comparisons, the connection kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, that is crazy. They gotta be related. I mean, like, this could be one of these things that, like, Nick Cage doesn't flaunt that he's related to, what's his name, right? That's why he
Oh,
changed
the
his name.
Coppolas, yes, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it could be kind of one of those things, like, where he's like, oh, yeah, like, I want to carve my own path or whatever. And you're like, yeah, that's cool. And, like, you might have figured out that they're, like, cousins. But, like, if you're from, like, the same city, like, both kind of left and shit, like, I gotta imagine that they probably are related, right?
Yeah, so Wilmer Calderon plays Tash, Tash. He's still in a bunch of stuff, but he was born in Santurce, Santurce, Puerto Rico. Now he doesn't as much look like him, but I'm gonna send this to you on Twitter.
Okay,
This is the
please.
guy's IMDb. I was just like, this guy kind like there's like one shot where I'm like, he kind of looks like is he supposed to be? I'm like, oh, his last name is Calderon. Oh, that's weird. And so
He's kind of like an interestingly handsome dude,
yeah,
right? Like if you saw him, he's like like lusty dad type situation. Montez, how do you feel about this guy? Do you find him mildly attractive or no?
Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties.
while that loads, I will ask you a question you don't need any tech for. What do you think of a movie where a character has a foot fetish and it's like very open about it? You into that? Not into the foot fetish, but into watching movies that promote foot fetishism.
If I can get paid to send people pictures of my feet, I would do it.
You can. That's the problem with this, is that you absolutely could. That's just how it works.
It made me laugh a whole lot to watch the foot fetish. And no, I do not find this man even mildly attractive.
Oh,
Really?
poor Wilmer. I hope you're not listening, Wilmer.
Sorry,
I'm
Wilmer.
sorry.
Wait, so Montez, when you first saw this movie, you had already seen Tokyo Drift, I would assume?
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say you already had a foot fetish.
You already had a foot
first saw
fetish?
this.
I don't like feet.
You're an anti-footer.
Don't
footer.
don't touch my feet. Don't touch me with feet.
I've never
Unless-
talked about this with Joey. Are you like Joey? How do you feel? Because I'm kind of indifferent.
No, I think
like,
we have talked about this, and I think we talked about this on the podcast in the last month or two.
Really? No, I was asking you specifically. Not like I think I might have asked you like if you had a foot fetish, but with Montez saying that she definitely hates feet, I'm just kind of indifferent
Like,
about them.
I'm indifferent to them. My take on the foot fetish thing is that like I don't want to talk shit about anything, but like
That's what I'm saying. Do you? I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you're into feet,
I don't get it, but I don't besmirch. Like if somebody likes them, just like cool. I just.
but
don't
you're
understand.
also not like you're also not like ooh feet are gross because there's people that are like I never want to see a foot. It creeps me out.
No.
I don't feel one way or the other. It's just like it's just a foot to me.
I mean,
like,
if you
it's
take care of your feet, show them off to the world. Go for it. But like, if you're, there's gross anything out there. Get these gross feet.
Exactly. That's how I feel too.
Throw a sock
Like,
on there.
yeah, like I'm not like, but also I'm like, I'm not trying to suck toes, and I'm also trying like, I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, every foot is gross. So like, yeah, I'm kind of just like, meh, whatever. Sorry, we got deep into that again,
that's
but
fine.
I was trying to find out more about Joey. Thank you.
So Montez, when you saw this the first time, you'd already seen Tokyo Drift. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were you confused or surprised when all of a sudden Han is in this movie?
No.
You just were like, no, this is totally normal.
Because I wasn't even. I probably wasn't even paying attention to the fact that because it had been so long since I like between the two that I probably like hadn't paid attention to the fact that he was not supposed to be there, but he was there.
Because they don't address it. They don't talk about it. They don't explain it. They just say, he's here
He
now.
just shows up. He's just there.
It's wild. It's so weird. They never really address it until... No, they never really address it. Like, they kind of
At
like
all.
frame some
Not in this
things
one.
around and like recalculate and recontextualize some things, but they're not like... Remember that going to Tokyo, like at the end, what? It's wild. Like, it's obvious, but it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to the fact that it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
They don't have to explain it.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it in the context of it being a soap opera before, but really, the dying and coming back to life is what like solidifies it.
Because we've done the evil twin thing somewhat in Fast and Furious 6, and also Dom going evil in Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
We've got love triangles. We've got forbidden romances. We've got secret weddings. Spoilers, maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that are hallmarks of the genre that this really just leans into. So, what's one thing I loved and I feel like we get away from, because number one, there's not really races anymore, but I love the race through LA traffic. I think that's so cool. We so rarely get it. It's most of the races are just like, it's race wars. They close off the streets. It's just those or whatever. But I feel like here, seeing them race through the streets of LA with a GPS race where Dom barely beats Brian because he quote unquote cheats or whatever. But I thought it's so cool. Like I think this might be the only one until maybe, and it's not even like a race, but like
Rio?
when Dom chases. You mean the cop car chase?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's not.
Well, that's like the middle of the night and no one's around. The only thing I can think about is in 7 when Dom chases after Deckard, but it's not really a race; it's a chase. Like this is a race. Like this is like a set piece.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just think it's so cool.
I agree. Yeah, I like it. I also like the other race with the. Yeah, I mean this race. Like I like this race a lot. We get another one that's kind of like what's the. They're all starting to blend again, but like. The race through the streets with the flip car, like maybe the next one kind of feels.
That's in 6.
Yeah. That one feels kind of similar too, because it's like kind of through traffic.
But that's also it's not really a race. Chase though too. They're going after them after the heist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Montez, do you have a favorite action scene from any of these first 3 movies so far?
I mean,
because we're going from, as you know, from the car movies to the action movies. So like the action's going to get bigger and bolder and mass and faster and more furious. But is there something that stands out to you in terms of like a car thing that you think is really cool?
I mean, the race that you were explaining, I did really enjoy the race. I used to play a lot of Need for Speed and Gran Turismo back in the day. So
oh yeah,
that was, I like that.
Well, because I think that's like, well, so, like I mostly play Forza, like Motorsport and Forza Horizon, and like there's a difference. Like most of them are enclosed tracks, but every once in a while, in Horizon specifically, you're like doing like a street race like at night, and like you're dealing with other cars and stuff, and it's just like this is like a different thing. It's just a cool difference there that I liked.
Yeah, it is. It is nice to see that as opposed to the, the just drag racing in the others. It feels like.
You know what I noticed, and this is something, Montez, have you seen Hobbs and Shaw or not yet?
I have.
Okay, so one of The Rock's main things as a personality is his cheat days. He loves posting his cheat day pictures on Instagram and being like, look at all the food I'm eating. Yep. In Hobbs and Shaw, when they're at the diner, him and his daughter, he gets the huge buffet breakfast spread, and they go, cheat day goes cheat day. The words cheat day are also in this movie, too. That, like,
what?
Brian's assistant, or whoever that woman is, the other woman he works with, is like, he's in a bad mood. Yesterday was his cheat day. Today someone brought in donuts. And I'm just like, I can't believe that 2 of these movies, separated by a decade, use the words cheat day. Like, before The Rock, I know, but before The Rock, like, brought it to, because he's The Rock, they were talking about cheat day. It's just like, oh, okay, fascinating.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Back in the days of Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig.
Yeah. Those bonus
Atkins.
Points.
Oh, Atkins. Yeah.
Or what was it? The LA diet? What was the other one? Was it the LA diet?
I think that's one.
Mediterranean. I don't know.
The eating plan that raises your metabolism to lose fat forever. That's a book from 1988 about the LA diet.
Yeah, the LA diet was a big thing. I love fad diets, man. The idea of them and the culture of them. Okay. Add this to the list of things that, like, if Joe had tons of money and any motivation and any talent and will to continue a project, I would like to study all of the fad diets and make, like, a nice documentary about, like, the evolution of fad diets.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you start out with, like, aerobics. I mean, like, that's not, like, a diet, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, in, like, Richard Simmons, and then, like, you lead into, like, Atkins, and then LA diet, and, like, Weight Watchers. Like, because that was, like, a big thing, and then you got, like, all these things. Like, I would love to follow that and make, like, a nice, like, 2-hour documentary and be like, and now we're at keto. And, like, that's what you got. And then we stop the movie. Right? Like, I think it would be fun.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
While I ate McDonald's.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
also
totally fair.
Super Size Me is definitely going to be, at least mentioned in the doc.
Yeah.
That's more concise, but, like, this would have to be, like, a history of things. But, yes, I agree. I watched all of those I've watched a ton of food documentaries back in the day just because like I find them also fascinating. So I like documentaries, but yeah.
This time around, back on topic here, please, and
Sorry.
thank you. I noticed a huge goof. There was a moment in this podcast where I'm like, Joe, you're Mr. Goof. I want you to find a goof in every movie we do. And then I think it happened once, and then that was it. But I found I'm embodying Mr. Goof. So when Brian, Mia, and Dom are having dinner, Dom goes in the other room and he finds Letty's phone and he calls Brian and the phone rings and he's just like, oh my God, and he beats the shit out of Brian. When Brian picks the phone up and shows that Letty is calling him, there is the bell with a slash through it. Like the phone is on silent. Very clearly and prominently on the display. It's like this phone's on silent, but like it's still ringing. So Brian was a good dinner guest. He had his phone on silent. Yet somehow it still rang through. And yeah, because like the whole point of that is just like Dom hears it ring in the other room, but the phone's on silent, man. So
my phone's always on silent.
Yeah.
Maybe she was
right?
a favorite, so that the emergency went through. He was just in the future.
Like the do not disturb, but like you can call through if he's in your favorites.
Yep.
Miss Montez, is your phone always on silent, or do you have vibration on, or do you have sounds on?
My phone is usually always on silent. However, the caveat here is that I am constantly losing my phone.
So you just had to ping it from your computer, and it boop, 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 boop.
Well, one day I found it, after 3 hours, I found it face up in my backyard. And the only reason I found it was because I was upstairs looking out of the window to my backyard, and I was
Explain
asking...
this to me, though. How was it outside? Do you have because children, or because
my son and I were playing in the yard. My husband was out of town. My son and I were playing in the backyard, and it fell out of my pocket.
Oh, okay.
Because women's pockets aren't deep enough.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, like
So-
as men, we've been plotting for years. There's a secret Facebook group that we just sort of like make women's pockets smaller or none, and we've been working on it for. I mean, like you guys have been buying this shit for decades at this point.
It's fucking horseshit.
I know.
I wish I was a man so I could get promoted doing nothing, and I wish that I had deeper pockets so I wouldn't lose my phone. So
the nicest thing about the Apple Watch is that there's a button on that you can ping your iPhone, and it's just like, oh, there
That
it
makes
is.
sense.
It's
Yeah.
the best. It's the best thing in the world.
yeah,
I always like looking at women's pants and seeing these like really tiny pockets. I'm like, what the fuck are you supposed to put in those?
It's like toddler pockets. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is a toddler supposed to put in their pocket that's supposed to be in there? My son the other day came home with a pocket full of fucking rocks.
Well, that's exactly what you're supposed to put in your pockets. He's smart.
Yeah.
That's when
He's
you're a
trying
toddler.
to weigh himself
That's
down. So, man's not going to pick him up.
Nope. He's trying to not get abducted. Is what he was trying to do. He's
exactly.
trying to put some weights in his pockets.
He
He's
knows
good.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
Unless he gets thrown in the river that he's going to sink.
Montez, you about to throw your kid in the river? Is that what you're admitting here on the podcast?
Yeah. Jeez.
Sometimes I want to. And any
I think
parent
that's
out there
normal for a parent.
that says they don't want to, they're fucking lying.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'd go in and get him.
Afterwards, I'll let him
Well,
flounder
like,
for a
shit.
bit, but
Hope he learns his lesson.
I'm just saying, my mom would have definitely thrown me in a river. She would have probably laughed at me trying to get out of the river for a while too, and then been like, "Okay, I'll get you."
Yeah, I want to go back to the phone thing because I
ahead.
hope that Michael is going to listen to this episode. So we went to see Man of Steel. Speaking of phones being on silent,
Speaking of Black Adam, okay,
Speaking of Superman,
yeah.
spoilies.
Henry Cavill was on Instagram the next day confirming. It's just like, dude, give people a chance to not see the movie.
Right. So everybody knows when you go to the movies, you turn your phone off.
Sure.
Well,
Yep.
They tell you. That's
yeah,
what
it
you
literally
should do now.
says turn your phone off. So we're in the middle of watching Man of Steel. The theater is packed because it was opening weekend. It was one of the quietest parts in the whole movie, and my fucking mom's phone goes off, and it's Adele's.
Mom,
It's Adele rolling in the deep, and my mom's floundering around in her, like, looking around, like, whose phone is this? And I'm like, oh, shit. And Michael and I are sitting there, like, dying laughing, and my mom, like, hands me her phone in the middle of the theater, and it's like,
for
"Turn it
what?
off." She doesn't know how to turn it off. So
Hashtag
now,
moms.
so we have never let my mom live that down. So every time we go to do something, we make sure we bring that up.
That's awesome. One time, I don't think I've talked about this before, but one time Rachel and I were in a theater and we were seeing like, I don't know, like a scary movie, right? So it's like kind of dark, kind of quiet, and there's this guy. I don't think I've ever told Joey this before. And there's this guy sitting next to us. And we always sit in the back row. I like sitting in the back row, not distracted, far away, nice view. And this guy next to us is like watching anime on his phone with headphones in, and I'm like, that's the only thing you shouldn't be doing here. He's watching something on his phone while he's in a movie, not listening to the movie. I'm like, just go home then. Like, why are you doing this here? It made no sense.
When you got an anime, you got an anime.
Maybe that's the only place that he can safely watch anime.
In a crowded theater, like it was like like this was a packed. It was like opening night for this movie or something, and he's just like in the back, just like yeah, like fuck it, I'm not watching that. And he was also by himself, for sure.
And the
Like,
twist of the story is that this was hell or high water that you were seeing. You forgot what movie it was because you
I
were
got so distracted by this guy, and like the brightness up too. So like it's like glaring on his. Very distracting.
My fan. I've heard other people talk about this, but my fantasy in movie theaters is when people are being like annoying, if they're on their phone, they're just like brightness up or whatever, just like next to you, like they don't give a shit. Like I want to like turn my phone on full brightness and just like angle it at their face.
Oh, okay. Better story. We were on a. Sorry, I feel like going off the rails today. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Okay.
Montez out of notes, so we're killing.
Yeah, that's
time.
what I mean. We're killing. So, okay, we're flying, and I don't know what we were doing. We were coming back maybe from like a beer trip, and it's like me, Zach, Matt, and Adam, and we're all on the same plane. Okay, but we all have different seats. We bought them at different times. Whatever. It's like a night flight, pretty much like a red eye. Okay, and this guy. Like, we sit down, they close all the things, they turn off all the lights, like, everybody can kind of go to sleep, and this guy clicks his fucking overhead lamp, okay? So he has it, and it's just glaring in this dark-ass plane. I look over, and, like, everybody could see that, like, we could see this guy, so, like, I turn mine on, and then Zach turns his on, and then Adam turns his on, and we have, like, all of these lights going in this plane that's pitch black. Because we're just fucking with this one guy now, and we're cackling, and everybody else is like, why is this plane now completely illuminated for no reason?
It's wonderful.
Thank you. We turned ours off. He didn't, because he's an asshole. Like, we just did it to make each other laugh for like 5 minutes, and then turned them off. But
love it.
This guy just like kept his light on. He just was like, fuck everyone else that's trying to sleep on this plane. I'm trying to read my magazine, not a tablet.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Montez, any other notes? Any other thoughts?
No, I don't have any other notes or thoughts.
All right, and then let's play This Ain't No 10-Second Race, a.k.a. Boy Do We Have a Podcast for You.
Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Come and check out our show. Yeah.
This is where we go on Elon Musk Presents Twitter.com.
Oh, God. Did you pay your $8? By the way, I was thinking today, if we can get verified for $8 a month, I think we should do it.
No, because I don't want to give him money. So here I was the most.
You're not giving him money. He's losing money on everything. Like, Twitter doesn't make any money. Tesla doesn't make any money. Like, he's about to go bankrupt. But
yeah,
I mean,
he's
like,
still the wealthiest man in the world somehow. So
no, he's not. Like, I mean, like,
no, he was.
In theory.
No. He was. I don't understand how, but anyway, the top when I opened up Twitter.com, Elon Musk Presents Twitter.com, aka the Bird app. Somebody had retweeted someone, Geraldine, at Everywhere Is Tea, just saying, LOL, what if we all block him? And then she responded to herself saying, he gets so mad and starts screaming at his footmen, throwing powdered wigs and shit. And then a couple of things down, someone said, they quote tweeted like they screenshotted the thing, and it was this guy who just says, I found a way to save $8 a month. And he just writes his name, Rob Denblaker, and then in parentheses, he just writes the word checkmark. And then somebody below him is talking about, he puts a little rat next to his name, a rat emoji, for hashtag rat verified. So people are finding other ways around to, I'd rather have a little rat next to my name than a little check mark, especially Rat Cop. Rat Cop is on brand for Too Fast, I think, but I don't know. Anyway, long way to say. We're back on Twitter.com.
We are.
Elon Musk Presents Twitter.com. This is where we go on Twitter. Elon Musk Presents Twitter.com. Find any tweet from anyone tweeting about the movies, the actors, the genre, the franchise, whatever, and respond to them with a tweet saying, boy, do we have a podcast for you. So last episode, oh no, So I found hashtag Hayden, or Jimmy Hayden, hashtag at hashtag underscore Hayden, who since the last episode has gone private. So shout out to us and shout out to him.
So you scared him. Okay.
Don't remember what the original tweet was, but we said Too Fast, Too Furious 2, Suki returns with a vengeance. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. It has 2 likes. Michael Moser, who is your new Wolves fan, it has. I remember, and if you want to say no, I will accept the punishment because he went private. I think this guy liked it, and then he's gotten private, so we can't see it. But I think I remember him liking it.
I honestly don't remember. If you want the point for it, I have no qualms with that. If you feel like you remember it, we can do it on the honor system.
Because I'm looking
but I don't
now,
remember.
Because I also think you, maybe? Yeah, you also got, because, spoiler for the next one, you also got a point, and I think I remember that night. We both got a point. We're like, oh, cool. I'm almost positive. So it's not a full-hearted full point, but I think I got one. I think. Because you found Star Wars Only at Star Wars Only. Would a pod racing series work in Star Wars? Would that interest you? Then Star Wars Polls at Star Wars Polls said, I'm not a big fan of Fast and Furious at all, TBH, but I'd pay a good lump sum to see Star Wars Tatooine drift. And then I helped you with the response. Now, this is pod drifting. You should give the FNF franchise a Jedi's try, which was your nonsense phrase.
Yes.
Boy, did a podcast for you. And Michael Moser also liked that one. So did Star Wars Polls. So I think based on the assist here and the honor system, Boy Scout, not trying to cheat the system, I think I'm going to get 1 point. So we each get 1 point from last time.
That's totally fair. I like it.
You're still up by 23.5. But Montez, trying to get you on the board here. Trying to get 1 point from Montez. Montez, you found Ryan Ashbrook at Ryan Ashbrook, Too Fast, Too Furious, Home Alone 2, American Pie 2. All of these are superior films in the franchises. I will not be taking questions at the time. We said we also love Too Fast. What's your favorite in the franchise? Also, we have so many questions. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Montez, shut out again. Once again.
Damn.
Once again.
Yeah, it's all right.
Joe, I watched today a documentary on YouTube from John Boyce, like my favorite documentarian.
Riding around in John Boy's car.
What's that from? What's that?
from Seinfeld when he buys John Voight's car.
John Voight's car. Yes. Okay,
yeah, you
yes.
said John Boyce, and I said riding around. Okay.
I heard John Boyce, and I'm just like, what is that? Why does that sound familiar? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But he does, like, Secret Base, he does SB Nation, he did, like, the history of the Seattle Mariners, but he did a couple that were Pittsburgh adjacent, but there was one...
What? Tell me. Why didn't you share this earlier? Go ahead.
Well, so one, it was about how to score 10 runs in the first inning and lose. So back in the 70s, the Pirates... No, that's not the 70s, the 80s, mid-80s. The Pirates were up 10-0 on the top of the first over the Phillies, and the Phillies wound up winning that game 15-11.
Very Pirates. That's incredible. I love that.
You might also know that because the announcer for the Pirates said, if we lose this game, I'll walk home to Pittsburgh.
I'll walk home to Pittsburgh from Philly.
Mm-hmm. And so in
nice.
the off-season, they did a charity event where he walked from Philly to Pittsburgh. The other one, though, was, and the reason I bring this up, the reason this is in my head, was this thing called Section 1, where in the 70s, the Steelers traveled to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Colts in the, not the AFC Championship game, but I guess the playoff game before that, I guess, whatever. And it was not the year that they won the Super Bowl. I think it was in between their 4. Okay. But they started out that season 1-4, and they won their final 9 games. And in those final 9 games, they had 5 shutouts, which, I think the record in the NFL for a full season otherwise is like 4 by the 2000 Ravens, and the Steelers had 5 in their final 9 games. So I'm just thinking that Montez is, going up against the Steelers, the 70 Steelers defense. In her shutout efforts here, because they had like 5 Hall of Famers or something. Like it was
it was that entire draft class. It was one draft class that they had like 5 dudes from one draft were Hall of Famers.
I think they had 4.
That's why Donnie. I think it was.
They had 2 guys named Jim, I think, that were both Hall of Famers. Like, they had 2 guys
Lambert.
on the line, Jack, not Jim. Jack Lamb, maybe? I don't know. But they had, 2 guys on the line, 2 linebackers, and, a corner, I think, were all Hall of Famers. They also had, 4 other All-Pro. Like, it was crazy.
That was the guy that just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He got inducted because the Steelers were one of the first teams to draft from HBCUs.
Gotcha.
So they had like a scout that was black that was like, yo, go get these guys. And because, racism, like nobody was scouting guys from black schools. And like that's how the Steelers like just crushed it that draft. So, yeah.
Terry Bradshaw, I think, was the first in that game, the first ever quarterback, or the only quarterback, I think, maybe still, to ever have a perfect passer rating as a road quarterback in the playoffs. Like he tore up the Colts that game. Anyway,
I love
go
it.
check them out there on YouTube.
All 3 passes that they used to throw in the 70s. So
yes,
exactly.
We're just like he got wide open. Just like because they're all bad athletes. Like that's just what happens. Like they're a good team, but they're
they were drinking the whole game.
Yeah, they're smoking on the field. All right,
exactly.
I got tweets from both of you. I will go third because I've been talking too much. But Montez, please hit us with your tweet first.
I'm just gonna stay with the food theme. This is at uncooked quinoa. Bullshit.
Ooh, that sounds good though. I mean, like the name is good. Not that quinoa uncooked sounds good, but go ahead. Sorry.
So it just says bullshit. Nobody likes the tuna here, and then it says, well, I do. I mean, I think this is another no crust right. response.
So how do you want to respond? What is the way we respond?
Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
And people that hate crust.
Yeah. Or
I'm going to say, how about this? Boy, do podcast for you. There's no crust on this one.
Yeah.
Montez, one of these weeks, you're going to hit it. And we're going to celebrate. But until then...
if I don't, that's okay. I'm living my life a quarter tweet at a time.
Mm-hmm. Quarter ounce at a time.
Joe, please, again, you're going down the same well. You're hammering the same well, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
This is my honey pot here, and Joey can't use it because everybody knows this is my honey pot. I'm replying to a reply from the Espresso Show saying that you can win 2 tickets to Fast 9, soda and popcorn, whatever. And our buddy here, Nazim Myers, at Nazim Myers, I am the biggest fan of the Fast and Furious franchise that I own all the movies on Blu-ray. Espresso New Metro, Espresso Show, #Fast9.
Yes, because Espresso Show is South Africa's feel-good morning show, and they were doing a giveaway, and so they were trying to get people to, enter the contest.
But he has like a cute picture with his DVDs in front of him. He looks like a good guy. He looks like and he says he's the biggest fan. He owns all the movies on Blu-ray.
Also, you can tell based on the icon on the front and the titles, these are all the British DVDs because they're Fast and Furious 7, Fast and Furious 8, Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. They're the British versions.
That's how it works sometimes, man.
So what do you want to say to Nazim Myers?
We are also giant fans, and we hope that you give us a chance and listen to our podcast. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Because I think that's like gentle enough that he would be like, oh my god, like this is something that I like. And I think that he might actually listen. Like this is actually for him.
So I found one from last summer.
Same. Mine was from last summer.
It's part of a live tweet. This guy, Assignment Understander at 90s Slow Jams, which is a great title. I'm finally watching the Fast and Furious movies, and I feel like I'm witnessing the history of an alternate universe. And he's live tweeting a bunch of things. Some other my favorites one, Dom and Brian need to fuck already. Okay, Tokyo Drift opening credits use DJ Shadow, Davis, California represent. But the one that I found him through, it says in asterisks, like, describing what's about to come, insufferable Vox writer nerd guy voice, Leo and Santos from the Fast and Furious film franchise are truly the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the 20-teens.
What? Okay.
Do you know Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, Joe, or no?
No, I don't know what that is.
So in Hamlet, there are these two kind of background characters, and this guy wrote I don't know who wrote the play. Tom Stoppard wrote a play called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, where it's Hamlet from their perspective.
Okay.
And so there's always people use Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I've even probably mentioned on here, I might have even referred to them as this too, where just like, I want to see a movie from their perspective. Like they're very tangentially involved, but I want to see them at the heart of the story. And so this guy...
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, why are they always fighting and stuff? Mm-hmm. They just race around and like one of them's a cop. I get it.
I'm saying they're truly the unsung heroes of this franchise, and every movie without them is worse for it. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. You know, it's totally normal to get a response to one of your threaded tweets from 16 months ago in the middle of a tweet binge, but, you know.
It happens, dude.
Anything can happen
on
thing. Elon Musk's Twitter.com.
$8 a month. You too can respond for $8 a month.
All right. We have one more game to play. It's called Dude, What's My Car?
Dude, what's my car? What's your car, dude?
Now, Montez,
Okay.
you played this before. This is where I try to get Joe to guess what a car picture is that somebody has emailed in. Do you want to help me give clues, or do you want to help Joe once again guess what the car is?
I'm going to give clues this time. Guessing did not work out for me last time.
That's
The
okay.
game is very difficult.
It is.
It is a very difficult game. I was thinking today, I remember when I had tons of car pictures that I would just schedule to have sent to you.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
appreciated.
am
It's just a hard
forwarding
game.
I am forwarding this email to you, Ms. Montez.
Okay.
This is from Jerry Robinson from last July, just around the same time that my 90s Slow Jams was watching these movies for the first time. He says the subject line is a car pick under new format. So this is a car that I will tell you, Joe, that's not going to help you at all because you haven't played the games. But there's almost in every Forza game, there is a challenge to use this car because it's kind of a meme car. It's just like a very specific, silly, goofy car that people like, the Forza games like doing stuff with.
Okay, so okay.
Jerry says, to that end, it's a small, beautiful machine. It costs around 16 grand and it's street legal. It is a British car. It was manufactured in the 60s and again for the last 10 years or so. According to, at least as of last year, they were still manufacturing this. In the picture, it is red, which I think honestly might be helpful. I don't know if it is or not, but I feel like when I've seen this car, it's red. Montez, do you know this car? Have you seen this car before?
I have literally never seen this car before.
Have you heard of this car company?
No.
I don't think I would have either without Forza. So, Joe, I don't know if it's going to help you or not.
Oh no. Okay. British car company. It's usually red. So you've never heard of it. So it's not like a mini.
I'm going to say if you can get either the make or the model, it counts as a win. And there's a huge hint that Jerry includes in here that I think would give it away. If you don't, I'm saving that for now.
Okay.
But I think if you heard this hint and you didn't get it, you just won't know the car. But there is one. It's just very.
Does it start with an L?
No.
The make start
Nope.
with an L?
Nope, neither.
Okay.
It's very funny because it's kind of like a joke. Like it's not a Reliant Robin, but it's in that sort of family. And so the Forza games are like, you can like really soup the shit out of this car, and it's very funny.
Is it still a piece of shit, or does you can have like a really sleeper shitty little car that is very fast?
I don't think in real life you could soup this up.
No,
Maybe
I
you
mean
can.
in Forza.
Oh no, you can. Yeah, no, absolutely, because that's just that's
The nature of Forza.
yes.
Okay.
Are you ready? I mean, I already kind of gave away the hint. The huge hint for this: it has 3 wheels.
It has 3 wheel. Oh, I can picture it.
Costs 16 grand. It's not the Reliant Robin, but it's in that family. It's 16 grand, street legal, has 3 wheels, 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Montez, how would you describe the body of this car?
know, I can see it. I'm never gonna get the name of it. I know exactly what it is though, and it's goofy like a little submarine.
I wouldn't say it's submarine-esque. Would
Yeah,
you, Montez?
No, I would say it's like someone chopped off the back half of a pickup truck.
Yeah, it looks like the cab of a pickup truck with no bottom or no back.
Okay.
It's just like the top front of the cab of a pickup truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
The name of the picture is 1965 _ car name _ the world's smallest car from the Lane Motor Museum. So this is, I guess, at one point, maybe, I don't know, known as the world's smallest car.
Interesting. Okay.
If you don't know it, you don't know it. But I will say that the model, and we'll see if you can get the make. The model is the P, as in Peter, P50.
No, I have no idea what it is. I was imagining there was this one British car that was very roundy. It kind of had an arrow stream. Maybe it was British, maybe it wasn't. But there was a car that was it had an arrow stream kind of trailer you would pull behind you, very round. VW bus kind of situation, but it was like really small, and I think it had 2 wheels and one in the back. And maybe that back wheel turned, like maybe you turned with the back wheel too, like a weird shopping cart or something. That's what I'm imagining in my head right now.
So
Nothing
this
like
is
a
the
pickup truck though.
I just need the picture of it because
Please.
even before Montez said pickup truck, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think it's a spot on description. This is the
This is like a Fisher Price car. Why didn't you say Fisher Price car?
P50. Well, have you heard of Peel?
No, never. I would have never gotten it. But I mean, it looks like a Fisher Price car to me.
I mean, look, Montez is a mom. If she thinks pickup truck instead of Fisher Price, I'm gonna side with her.
This is precisely a Fisher Price red car with like the yellow shits that like a little kid gets in and pedals.
The cozy coupe.
Is that what it's called?
Crazy coupe? Cozy coupe? It's a coupe something.
Does Little Man have one?
He does.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
He does?
Of course we do. We drift in it.
Okay, that's what I
we
thought.
use it to drift in the driveway. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it kind of looks like that. The wheels on this remind me of a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The Peel P50 is a 3-wheeled micro car originally made from 62 to 65 by the Peel Engineering Company on the Isle of Man. Then from 2011 to the present, it's listed in the 2010 Guinness World Records as the smallest production car ever made. The original model has no reverse gear, but a handle at the rear allows the very lightweight car to be maneuvered physically when required. Like, you could just like lift this shit up. Just like, okay, yeah, just,
Yeah, you could pick this up and move it wherever you want. It's pretty awesome though. To be honest, I kind of want one of these, like, not to cruise like my neighborhood, but like to cruise my own driveway. Like, we should get Little Man one of these with an engine in it.
It's
Yeah.
54 inches long, 39 inches wide, unladen weight of 130 pounds.
130 pounds?
Yeah.
God, I've moved lab equipment heavier than that. That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
That weighs nothing. It's like aluminum. The thing is, I would be scared to drive this on the road because I would just get plowed.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean?
there'd be no safety, I don't think.
There's absolutely zero safety at all. So,
But thank you, Jerry, for sending that in. I like the new. I mean, the new format is now a year and a half old because you did this in forever ago. But I like the new
Sorry.
format. No, that's not his fault. That's not our fault. That's just the
Yeah.
way the show shook out. But I will say, obviously, Jerry knows about it because he sent it in, and I'd also guarantee you that Alex Ellenin knows about it because he also plays Forza like me. So like, there's always like the Peel just like pops up. It's just like, look at this goofy ass car, and like it's one of those where like, if you off-road in it at all, like you have to like basically rewind a lot because it's so easy to tip over because it's just like, there's no balance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. And you can make him go really fast in Forza.
Oh yeah, like you can, like I sent you a link on Twitter that you can take a look at. You can just like scrub through
Okay.
it, like of mods, because there's always like do like 140 in this thing, but like stock it goes like 60 maybe, and so you have to like really kind of soup it up in different ways, and like it's fun though. But yeah, no. So I sometimes know more about cars than Joe. Very
Hey,
rarely.
mini spoilers for next week, but it seems like somebody got a response
That
and
was
a like.
me, baby. I get 6 points.
Yeah.
Look at that. I like the assignment understander just says, "Amen," and liked it.
Amen. Amen is for church. Amen is for text.
Hey, if Fast and Furious is not church, what is?
What is?
It's the most. Remember we had
What is?
Ian Watkins on talking about how Catholic this all is.
It really is. It's very Jesus.
This is
There's
our
a lot
church.
of Jesus around. It pretty much is my church, to be honest. I watch it once a week, essentially, and
Well, Montez, maybe within the next 3 weeks you will get an A/Amen of your own and get on that board. But until then, thank you so much once again for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to where my thoughts on these films continues to go.
I like that your so far your rankings are 412, which is very appropriate for Joe.
412.
That's the Pittsburgh area code.
It's my phone's area code. If you guys dial enough numbers, you'll eventually get to me.
Yeah, you would only have to dial 10 million numbers. You'll eventually get to Joe.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Somewhere in those first 10 million numbers.
7 exclamation point. There you go.
7
You'll figure it
factorial.
out. Yeah.
Or just, you just think about it's not even that hard. It's just, there's 9999999 options. So that's 9,999,999, But Montez, anything new in the last 3 weeks? Anything you want to share? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to tell people about before you come back in 3 weeks for Fast 5?
No, everybody make sure you go get your flu shot.
Yeah,
Good call.
I did
I
in
know.
September with my booster shot, with my bivalent vaccine. I got
fuck. Now
both
I
in one arm.
I think I missed my work's flu shot clinic. God damn it. Montez reminded me. So, yes, I will go to the health facility and get mine manually as opposed to having them come to work. Thank you for reminding me.
Everybody stay healthy out there. Wash your hands.
Since our last episode, we also enlisted Montez for a bonus episode, Mike's patron pick of Better Watch Out. Montez will be on here in December to talk about that
I'm
as
so
well.
excited. Yes, great movie.
Love that movie so much.
Same. Big fan. I don't remember anything about it. I remember loving it. Joey put me on it. I was a big fan. I'm excited to watch it again, kind of blind. So
Yeah. So come back in December on the Patreon for that. But Montez, once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you in 3 weeks. Do you want to say goodbye, or do you want to just be rude?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were waiting for me. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for continuing to listen.
Now I've got to leave that in for all things Too Fast, Too Forever. Go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFast2Forever, or at TooFast2Forever on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFast2Forever.com and our store at TooFast2Forever.shop. Oh, come back next week. We teased it, but we're starting a new trilogy next week. We are starting Pitch Black.
yes,
The
we are.
Chronicles of Riddick trilogy. We are starting the first one
Chronicles
next week.
of Narnia?
Yes. Lion, the Witch, and the Dominic Toretto.
Oh,
Also,
I like that.
after we do Pitch Black, we will have a bonus episode on the Patreon, our first patron-selected bonus episode. We are going to do Haley's pick, the Channing Tatum movie, Dear John. So we are continuing Magic
I
Mike's
was wondering
ever so
why we were
slowly.
doing Dear John. I saw it on the schedule, and I was like, why are we doing Dear
Because
John?
Haley is paying us to continue Magic
Continue.
Mike's.
Works for me, lady.
So we will be doing Dear John with a very special a newfound lover of the Nicholas Sparks rom-dram, someone near and dear to the Patreon, the After Dark Hearts, will be on that episode. We also have a very special guest on the Pitch Black episode that's going to be joining us all Riddick long. But yeah, next week,
Take
Pitch
a
Black,
guess.
and then after that...
Take a guess and take a guess.
Take a guess. I mean, the one is easier to get. The other one is a fan favorite. Not fan favorite, but a fan favorite. Just come back next week. You'll know about it. Or join the Patreon. Come back even sooner.
True. Very true.
I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And that was Montez, who took forever to say thank you and goodbye and whatever she said. And we'll tell you all about it